Alright, Shalom, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the apostles of GMS that rule well, and salutations unto the elect pushing the truth of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. This is another GMS to your health installation. This idea came to me through the Spirit. I was just meditating on it, and when you first read the scriptures, you get in the truth. You don't really I would say you absorb a lot, but you don't use it. And what I mean by that is, when you first come into the truth, you're like a sponge, right? You're absorbing everything, you're taking everything in, but you're not really understanding everything, because to understand everything, you got to go through it a lot. You got to go through the experience, because a lot of scriptures, they're built upon experience. So if you don't understand something and you're praying for it, you might have not just gone through it. And take my word for it, man. If you've gone through something and you read a scripture that you never read, you say, damn, I really know what that means, and I know what that's talking about. Like especially in the book of Ecclesiasticus, that's a lot of experience being thrown at you. So again, all I mean is, when you first come into truth, you take everything, but you don't use it, right? Because you can't. You're still growing. You're always growing, but and I was just thinking about this, the lifestyle of John the Baptist, who was Elijah in the spirit. His diet in the wilderness, because remember, he was in the wilderness. There's no 911, there's no, oh, I'm hungry, I want to go to a drive-through. We don't know what kind of house he was staying at even, right? But the point being was, the scriptures lined up what he ate. And what he ate, surprisingly to a lot of people, more than suffice him. I'm going to explain and go into it. This is just information for if brothers are in the wilderness by themselves. This is good information to know, just to know for your own confidence, right? It's still an edification, but this is Matthew 3:1. In those days came John the Baptist preaching in the wilderness of Judea, and saying, Repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. For this is he that was spoken of by the prophet Isaiah, saying, The voice of one crying in the wilderness, Prepare ye the way of the Lord, make his path straight. And the same John had his raiment of camel's hair, so meaning his garment was of camel's hair, right? And a leathern girdle about his loins, and his meat was locusts and wild honey. So as you see, it says his meat. That means his food supply, his diet, his lifestyle. All right? That's what that means. It was locusts and honey. Now, we're gonna get into some information. What I want to first do is get the benefits of raw honey, because he wasn't consuming no pasteurized liquefied honey, man. He was getting that good honey, probably straight from the comb, which usually comes with bee pollen. All right, you're actually supposed to be consuming your honey with the pollen, because the pollen is where you get that extra kick, extra boost of nutrition. You actually have certain raw honeys out there I've seen. They sell the raw honey, and then they sell, I think, like inside of it as well, it comes with 30% of the pollen, and you can see they're like little pebbles. That's the one you want, because that's more nutritious, and we're going to get into it. So this is the top 6 raw honey benefits, right? It says a good source of antioxidants. Okay, raw honey contains antioxidants called phenolic compounds. It says some types of honey have as many antioxidants as fruits and vegetables. Antioxidants help to protect your body from cell damage due to free radicals, antibacterial and antifungal, which honey is for that sort. So what you're gonna find out is honey, raw honey with the pollen, and when you add the locust, what you have is your 3 main macros: your protein, your carbohydrates, and your fat, all in one. suffice enough. All right, and not to mention your minerals and your vitamins and your enzymes. Everything you need to function, right? Right, raw honey can kill unwanted bacteria and fungus. It naturally contains hydrogen peroxide, which a lot of people buy that nowadays, right? And you can go on YouTube and search DIYs or how to use hydrogen peroxide. There's even talk about it being used for cancer, anti-cancer, which would make sense due to its antifungal properties. It naturally contains hydrogen peroxide, an antiseptic. Several hospitals in Europe have used Manuka honey to fight methicillin resistant, a type of staph bacterial infection that's become resistant to antibiotics. Right, it depends on the type of honey, of course. Right, because Manuka honey is the honey that comes from New Zealand. Apostle Tahar talked about it a lot because he uses it. It's very expensive though, but you get what you pay for. You know, whether you get, and you can get a decent sized can or jar of raw honey maybe for $10, especially if you go to the farms, man. If you get a farmer market or you find a farmer that they do their own honey, you can get a very, very good price. Number 3 is heal wounds, of course. Manuka honey is also used in medical settings to treat wounds because it's an effective germ killer, right? And you can use any raw honey because raw honey has all those properties. Manuka is just very concentrated and very potent. All right, that's why they have the gold, the silver, the platinum color levels for it, right? But even if you get cut, let's say, with a knife and it's, pretty big wound, and all you have is the raw honey, you might be all right. It depends on how big the cut is, right? They show you that even in that movie, The Equalizer with Denzel Washington, right? When he got, I think he got shot, either shot or stabbed, and it was in his thigh, and he put the honey on the heater, and he started boiling it, and just when it started boiling, he took it off because once it starts boiling, you're going to destroy all the enzymes and precious properties in there, right? And he applied it to his wound. Now the heat, why? Because obviously heat kills more bacteria. It hurts, of course, but the heat kills the bacteria, right? Fire, pyros, that's where you get the word purify from. It kills more of the bacteria, and then once you get that honey in there in your system, in the bloodstream, any pathogens or bacteria, unwanted organisms, they get the boot. And it's very good for the scarring as well, scarring recovery. Okay, filled with phytonutrients, self-explanatory. I'm just gonna skim through, right? Help for digestive issues. Honey is sometimes used to treat digestive issues such as diarrhea, though there isn't much research. Soothe the sore throat, clear. All right, now I'm gonna get into the bee pollen. This is an app I use. Okay, this is called Free Food and Medicine. All right, and I typed in bee pollen. If possible, it's great to have bees around an actual hive because they help pollinate and care for the plants. Right, bees are magical. They're your friends because, of course, now they're saying, 8 or 9 out of 10 bees are extinct in the U.S. I don't know how true that is, but hey, when I was a kid, I see more bees around, man. You don't see too many bees around, and bees, like it says, are the ones. Without bees, you're fucked, man. You're just gonna straight eat GMO garbage. Okay, it says, and see, these are the things too that we gotta run into the tower for. The scriptures, meaning that's what the tower is, right? Because you got guys like different diets, like Dr. Sebi. I believe they don't approve of honey, but listen, it's in the scriptures, man. And from once you see that it's in the scriptures, you know that it's righteous, right? The scriptures always talk about honey, used in various ways. So if John the Baptist was going off, the Most High would tell him, John, you're not supposed to eat, to consume honey. So a lot of brothers, man, you might even listen to these guys. Again, everything from what I've been told, you have to sift through the scriptures, man. You have to filter. If it goes through the filter, you're good. If it stays up there, it gets caught up in the filter, then you're not supposed to use it. Because if a man is telling you that it's okay to, or not okay to do that, what else can he tell you? That's straying from the scriptures, right? A lot. The wax is a super absorbent antioxidant that goes into your digestive tract and is like a little sticky sponge that picks up fungus and bacteria and other problems and takes it out of your body. It is a cleansing agent that comes free with the honey. See? So most likely, again, John would be consuming that because he'd get it straight, raw, whatever, non-GMO project, organic, or what we have to call it these days. It was straight raw back in the day, pure with nutrition. It's very good for you to eat half a teaspoon of bee pollen and propolis daily if you can get it. Bee pollen is a good source of serious digestive enzymes, which what do digestive enzymes do? They break down the various compounds that you put in your body, mainly the protein, carbs, and fat, because you need enzymes to break those things down. Right, your saliva when you first intake food. That's why this whole country, man, this whole system done fucked up our people, man. Because we knew we had a you know what it is to be a royal people, man. It's not just the look, it's the mentality. All right, it's your whole mentality. It's your perception. It's your knowledge. Above all, of course, it's your wisdom. We had manners, man. We had manners. We had proper etiquette. We had an economy. We had righteous politics. All right, we didn't call it politics, but you know what I mean. Right, we had a righteous government, man, and we had more importantly a righteous heritage and culture. Right, laws, statutes, and commandments. So, without straying too far, because I get mad, man. That I've been lied to all these years, and the brother's been lied to. When you eat, you're not supposed to drink anything, not even water, because that can interrupt your digestive process. When you eat, that's why you have something called saliva. You actually have, I think, 3 saliva glands in your throat, esophagus, and mouth area under your tongue as well, and they create saliva, and in the saliva there are enzymes, and the first thing that this enzyme does, I believe it's called amylase, is as soon as you put food in there, if there's anything starchy or with that has carbohydrates or sugars, that those glands start to create that saliva. That's why you're hungry. You see some food or you smell some food, or you just think of some good food that you want to eat. Your saliva might start, secreting, and you might feel all that saliva in your mouth because your body's ready to digest the proper nutrients. So the first thing it digests is the starches or the carbohydrates in your mouth, right there. Now, if you add, wash it down with some juice, like I was growing up like that. Wash it down with some juice or wash it down with some water. You can interrupt that. And then you have more digestive enzymes in your digestive tract. It passes in your throat, your esophagus, goes down to your stomach. From your stomach, it goes into your small intestine. That's where it gets broken down mainly. All the nutrition, all the absorption. So this is very important stuff right here. And pretty much every mineral and vitamin known to man. See how powerful that is? It's a great source of B vitamins. Studies show there are over 1,000 ingredients in bee pollen. You see how powerful that is? The bees are here for a benefit. If they disappeared, over 80% of the food supply on Earth will be gone within a few months. That's no lie. That's no lie. And now I'm gonna go here to the nutritional value of locusts, because so we had the honey covered, the raw honey. Okay, again, if you're in an emergency and you're cut, you have a wound, you can apply it, right? Just rub it. It's like a salve or an ointment. It's the same thing. it has the vitamins, the minerals, what Esau calls micronutrients, and it has the macronutrients, the carbs, protein, and fat. So it'll sustain you, and it's the good kind of fat. It's not the bad kind of fat, because there's the trans fat, which is Esau made, not, I'm not gonna say man made. It's Esau made. That fucking trans fat. That's totally against nature. That doesn't exist in nature. Esau changed the molecules on that. All right, the molecular structure of the chain, because you only really have saturated and unsaturated fat. All right, which it contains both. With saturated fat isn't as bad as people say, because coconut oil is saturated fat, and there's many benefits for that. I believe olive oil contains some saturated, but mainly is poly or mono unsaturated. All right, so those things are covered. Right, those things are covered. So now we're gonna get the locusts. This is from Livestrong.com. Locusts are a type of insect from the family Acrididae, and also are known as grasshoppers. All right. Locusts are an excellent source of protein and contain a variety of fatty acids and minerals. Because the problem thing with the vegetarian lifestyle, a lot of people say, is you're missing the protein. You're gonna miss your protein. You're not getting your B12 vitamin. But there's the thing with nature is there's so many options. If you want to be vegetarian, you can, and you can suffice your muscle structure as well, your muscle composition, because you have, again, different. All you need is amino acids. That's what they mean by protein. You have, was it 21 or 22 amino acids? 9 are essential, meaning your body doesn't create them. You have to get them from your diet. That's the argument's sake for the meat factor. But again, you have many different products and herbs and foods in nature that contain, if you combine them, they contain all the 9 essential amino acids. And if you know which kind of right food to eat from nature, then you'll understand that some have more than others. So again, we see the honey with the bee pollen, it does contain amino acids. Now we get to locusts, it contains more protein. So you have a complete protein structure right here. All you need is the 9 essential amino acids. You don't need 100, 200, 300 grams of protein a day. That's a lie. If you have too much protein in your diet, your body can't even absorb all that protein at once. You can actually create a toxic condition in your blood if you're consuming 400 or 500. That's why all those bodybuilders, man, that were doing that with the protein craze and the fucking whey protein and anabolic roids and all that shit. Look at them now. After a certain time, they can't do it, man. They just blow out. But check it out. There's a lot of natural guys that are still kicking around, and they're buff as hell, man. There's a lot of natural dudes that are still buff as hell, and they'll tell you they're vegans because they know how to combine the foods properly. You can combine beans properly. There's not just one kind. It's not just a red bean or lima bean or navy bean. There's many kinds of beans. Find out the most that get you the most bang for your buck. Add some nuts in there. Use the bee pollen, and throughout the day you'll notice with your breakfast, lunch, and dinner and your snacks that you have attained all the proper proteins, man, the amino acids. So it says locust, the protein, is an excellent source of protein. Let me just see. Species. Yeah, it just says about 60%, so making them denser in protein in cows. However, the protein of some species of locust is not considered complete. Again, that can be supplemented with the bee, right? The raw honey and the bee pollen. It can be supplemented, which creates a complete protein. And again, all these things have their purpose. The amino acids, they all have their purpose, right? The fat percentage of the percentage of fat in desert locust is lower than their percentage of protein, but still a reasonable source at almost 12%. And again, fat can be used. Your body can use fat as energy if it's the right kind of fat, and you have your omega-3s and 6s in the fat. Remember that. So it's not bad fat. When you think of fat, don't think of you being fat. That's a different kind of fat. There's a different reasoning for that. All right, and again, you can research more other nutrients. Locusts also contain adequate amounts of iodine, very important for your thyroid, phosphorus, iron, thiamine, riboflavin, and niacin. Those are B vitamins. Niacin is B3, I think, as well as traces of calcium, magnesium, and selenium. Very, very, very important. Selenium is so important that that's one of the minerals that Isa actually took out of the soil. If you look up mineral depletions in soils of North America, selenium and now I forget one of the vitamins, A or E, those two have been attacked the most because they're very, very powerful. Not to say that they're the most important, but they do a lot of great wonders, man. All right. Carbohydrate levels are very low in locusts, which makes them a good candidate for Atkins and paleo types of diet, which is just low carb diets. So again, locust is your micronutrients, your minerals and vitamins, enzymes, and protein mainly, and fat. And then again, you got the raw honey and the bee pollen, which is your carbohydrates and enzymes, and micronutrients. It all works out, man. So I hope you brothers are edified. I want to say Kal Halal, Allah Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Thamyad, double honors unto the apostles of GMS who rule well, and salutations unto you brothers out there keeping the faith. May Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai increase your faith. Alright, until next time, Shalom.